my humble request to our respected principal, sir, Professor Dr. Sanjay Kumar Das, to welcome him formally. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Today we are fortunate enough to have Mr. Mukesh Naik as our keynote speaker, who is an IIT Delhi graduate, is a visionary entrepreneur and industry leader who has significantly contributed to the growth of India's textile and Filtration sector. With a rich professional background, he has held key leadership positions at renowned organizations such as Arvind, Welspun, SRF, and AYM Synthex, where he played an instrumental role in expanding business operations and driving innovations. Driven by his passion to contribute to his home state of Odisha, Mr. Naik co-founded and currently serves as the Managing Director and CEO of Cedra Filtration Private Limited, the first technical textile and filtration company in the region. Under his leadership, Cedra Filtration has pioneered advanced filtration solutions and sustainable technologies catering to industrial, environmental, and performance-based applications. Beyond technical innovations, he has also established a performance-wear company focused on delivering high-quality, functional, and comfortable apparel designed with advanced textile engineering. His entrepreneurial journey reflects his deep commitment to industrial development, local employment generation, and creating a strong ecosystem for manufacturing excellence in Odisha. Through his dedication, innovation, and leadership, Mr. Naik continues to inspire young professionals and entrepreneurs to pursue world-class innovations within India, providing that global success can be achieved from one's roots. So, it's our fortune to have you within us, sir, and without taking much time, I request you humbly to take over the session. It's over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your kind words, and respected principal, sir, and my colleagues, and the lovely students out here. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, first of all, I was telling ma'am that I'm extremely sorry. This program which is happening today, we started discussing some 8-9 months back, last year, right? Somehow due to preoccupation, I was not able to make it. But today I'm realizing that I'm fortunate enough to be sharing the stage with all of you, the bright minds. And I also telling the ma'am, when I used to be a student, I had similar sort of experience, and it's lovely to go back to the colleges again and sharing my experiences. I'm no different than what you are today, and I used to be the same probably 1.5 decade back. Right? So I don't want to make it a kind of boring session. I rather would invite all of you to make it a kind of dialogue instead of a monologue. So what I propose, I'll start with, I'll just give you, because I don't know whether it makes a part of your curriculum or what. I do not know about that, but at least I'll share my thought process on the topic which has been given here. And I would also encourage all of you to, there will be 10 questions, any random questions, whatever comes to your mind, and related to this, of course, and we will discuss about that. And I will say, because whatever you know today's world, which is Gen Z, you know probably much more than what I know or many of my colleagues here might be knowing, So it's better always to, to sort of get your thought process and then probably channelize it through how I have seen, because the only difference between you and me today is just the age difference. The only difference is that is the age difference. I have seen the world 10 years or 15 years, prior to what you have seen, right? That's the only difference. But the kind of knowledge you guys have, probably in your, my time, I was probably 30-40% lower than you. So in any day, you are much more better, much more sharper, much more talented than what I used to be at least. I do not know about others, at least from my perspective, you guys must be better than me when I used to be in college. So I'll start, with Cedra. Let me just introduce Cedra here. So we are the first and only technical textile company in Odisha. And today we're valued at more than 500 crore and features in number 3 in India. When we started this company in financial year 2022-23, we were 109th company in filtration technology in India. Today there are 110 companies in India, and last 6 months back we feature in the rank, we feature at number 3. So that's the kind of growth we have seen, all because of Odisha, because whatever we are is because of Lord Jagannath and people of Odisha. The kind of support we have got from Odisha was unprecedented. I never expected the kind of support. So we got into that business in the financial 22-23. Then you got into workwear business. Then last year we got into a sportswear business. I'll tell you why we started, what is the motive of it. When you talk about the subject, there are two catchy words, right? Entrepreneurship and the technology, right? So let me start because somebody who was a kind of high flying in the corporate world, I became the youngest CEO in India probably when I was 31, right? So from that journey to come and start something from the scratch, go and stand near the companies like Tata Steel and JSW, stand near the gate and get in, because that time nobody knew me, right, in that industry. So that's quite a journey, and that's something, is a choice I made. I rather choose and go start in the gate, in the security gate, and take an approval when there are 5,000 people who wanted to get my appointment. They had to take 3 months back. 3 months prior. That's a career choice I made. I'll tell you why I made this choice. There is a story behind it. One of my classmates, she is no more in this world. In fact, 4 of them. And this actually triggered me when my last friend actually died. So I was staying in Mumbai. I was staying in South Mumbai, where the famous cancer institute there, that is called a Tata Memorial Research Center of Cancer. So it was hardly like, let's say about 5 kilometers from the place where I used to stay. So anybody who is in my non-circle who had a problem of cancer used to go there, in that region. If you rent out a hotel for a night or for a day, it will cost you something around 10,000 rupees. So that's the kind of rent, because it's South Mumbai, So I used to make sure that I keep one room, South Mumbai, it's like for a 3 BHK, it costs you 2 lakh rupees a rent a month, So still, I used to make sure that I keep one room vacant all the time. Anybody comes in, any guest coming to our house who is needy can stay there and go back again. So when my friend actually she sort of got into this disease and then recovered, then after 2 years down the line, then the cancer again reappeared, resurfaced. So we tried our best. Everything, whatever could have been done, we did, but God has different plans for her, so we could not save her from cancer. Then one fine day when we are taking her body back to Bhubaneswar airport, it was an Indigo flight. I was just, I said them goodbye. They came here. Then I could not. My driver was not there, so I could not drive back to my home from the airport because I was so uncontrollable, so I could not drive back to the home. What I did is I stopped the car, parked it there, and sat in the car for at least for 1.5 hours before I was getting frequent calls from home that where are you, why you are not coming. So that 1.5 hours, sort of rest probably changed my life and my perception. It's just about perception. Entrepreneurship is nothing but, what you want to do. It's not about startup. When somebody says that I'm going to be an entrepreneur, it's not about starting something, starting a company, right? It's just about what is your thought process. What do you exactly want to do in life. So then I realized why this cancer happens. Today if you see the cancer happens, any idea, anybody? Why today India is the cancer capital of the world, right? India recorded 7.59 lakh cases of cancer last year, which is the highest in the globe. Any reason? Anybody? Yeah, that's true. But again, if you go back to the basics, that's very much true. You're right. Lifestyle. What is lifestyle? Lifestyle about eating, which is not necessarily to the body framework, right? Thank you so much. So yes, he's right. I just want to add one point to it. Today, when you see the green revolution, from 1 hectare, suppose we are producing X quintals of food grains, right? And after green revolution, we started producing 30% higher than that. How did you achieve that? Anybody question that? Did anybody question how from the same amount of land, for the same crop, we achieved 30% higher production? Huh? Yes. We use typically 3 fertilizers, NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus and potash, right? And they are the ones who are responsible for cancers. So I thought, because I am just one individual in the art, if I want to change something, I cannot change. At least let me change whatever. Then I realized that let me change whatever I could do. That is where that is my entrepreneurial journey actually began. So the Cedra which is being talked about in Odisha circle is not my first company. In fact, Odisha, when Madam briefed, that company never, featured. There is a story behind it why that company didn't feature. Then I came back to Odisha, and that time COVID started, and then I spoke to my parents, my wife, then decided that I will do something which is organic in nature, where there is no NPK used. Then I started a company and I was very much fascinated by Odisha because I always believe that Matrubhumi, Matrubhasare Jahute, Janamine, Takujadi, Organic, organic, right? That is something which is always there in my heart. So I started with the company, the name of the company I started as Odisha Organics. So that was the first company which I started where we got into organic products, zero use of single gram of fertilizers, hormones, nothing was used. And it was not even the regular electricity was not used. Even completely backed by solar and not a single kilowatt hour of conventional energy was used. So that is how I started. That is where I thought that let me change the society, whatever I could do. So that is how this Odisha Organics was started. And today, when I decided to, do something bigger, I thought that let me give it to the people who have been phenomenal in that. There are 120 families who are getting benefited from that company, Odisha Organics. And I invested around 10 CR in that business and handed over to the families to run it and told them, do whatever you want to do the basics right and follow your passion. Whatever you want to do it, whatever profit comes in, you divide by 120 and take it home. I don't need a single penny of returns from this company. I'll come back after 10 years and see how you have performed. So this is the reason why Odisha Organics, I have given them formally Of course, I hold 100% of the equity in that company, still given it to them completely to run it, and whatever profit getting generated to be shared along with their salaries. Whatever is getting generated is actually being divided by 120 and being given to all those families. So this is where then everything what we'll do would have a connection to the world life. Because why I started this company for life, right? Because my friend four of my friends were near and dear to me. I lost them. So anything which I will be doing as an individual would be having a relationship called as life, right? That prompted me to start Cedra. Incidentally, I met that time Honorable Chief Minister. Now he is former Chief Minister, Mr. Naveen Patnaik in Mumbai. So he told Mukesh, you are from Odisha, so why don't you contribute something for Odisha? That is the reason why I came back here. I told, okay, so anybody, whoever that time was listening, they said that Mukesh, have you lost your mind? Somebody was getting 4 crores of salary, leaving the corporate and coming back to Odisha, where you do not know what is going to happen to you after 1 year or 2 years down the line. So that prompted me to start Cedra, and that again has the relation with the world life. Because if you go to any cement company or steel company, anybody has home near to core industries like steel factory or cement factory? Yeah. Which one?
Actually, I'm from Jharsuguda.
Oh.
There are a lot of factories like JSW and Vedanta and so much. So
Everybody in India is our customer, so you can name anyone, they are our customer. So yes. So how is the life there? You stand. Correct. So whenever I go to any of these filtration customers, I make sure that I wear a white t-shirt. I always wear a white t-shirt. There is a reason behind it. And I get down from the car and stand 15 minutes outside and see how much brown is. If one t-shirt would be spoiled, right? 3,000-4,000 would be gone, right? It's okay. And I stand 15 minutes outside and see how much brown it is getting converted. From white to brown, right? So that is how, and I go to the meeting then, I say, sir, मैं सुबह जब आया था ना, sir, white पहन के आया था, sir, अभी देखिए sir, color. That is how you can tell them. You don't need to hurt their ego by saying, sir, आपका filtration system खराब है, right? आप खाली बताना, sir, मैं white पहन के आया था, अभी brown हो गया. So that's good enough for them to understand what is the problem. Okay. So why we started filtrations? Like people, what's your name? Like Smruti, right? What happens to their families? You know that what happens? If Smruti is here now, but if his parents stay there, the average life goes down by 10 years. Because you will have problems with lungs, you will have problems with the liver. Because what you are eating actually, what you are inhaling is actually metal dust. Right? So what is the impact of the metal dust? It reduces your life by 10 years, minimum. So in order to change that, because that is also life, the kind of pollution which is killing the human near the industries, because now India is getting urbanized, Earlier the factories used to be 50 kilometers from the villages or the towns. Now as the population grows, our urbanization also grows, right? Now we are coming closer to the factories which are already there. So we thought that why we can't do anything for that company, those industries which can actually do a better life. The filtration, the air or whatever coming out, why it cannot be cleaned 100%, right? So there's a कहावत ना रहेगा बांस ना बजेगा बांसुरी, right? अगर एयर में डस्ट ही नहीं है तो खत्म है ना. So we wanted to make sure that we do that. That is the reason why we did filtration business. And today I'm extremely proud to say that starting from Odisha, starting from this place of Mahaprabhu Jagannath, we have reached number 3 in India, and with valued more than 500 crore today. And then we started a business called as fire retardant, that is workwear business. Then we realized when there's a fire in JSP Rangoon, then there is I should not be quoting this, there is a fire, so there are life lost. Okay, so we realized that if something can be done to those people, when you work in a blast furnace of 1200 degree, 1300 degree, anything happens there would lead to a loss of life, right? So why can't we do something which can save that person from there? So we got into the workwear division, which is like fire retardant. Even the fires cannot do anything to you, So that is how we got, because that is something to do with life, the word called life. So we got into that business. Then we last year got an opportunity because now post-COVID we try to be healthier, right? When I used to be in the school, we had it, and I studied from Odia medium. Then we used to have class in Saturday, right? I'm on a drill, right? That used to be there. So that time, out of these 6 days, we had only 1 hour session, and we do not know school uniform pindi jaitiva, chappal pindi jaitiva, jutta pindi jaitiva. Normally, then we go for drill and come back. That's so uncomfortable, right? But we can't. We didn't know because अभी तो benchmark ही नहीं था. आज के दिन में benchmark है. Today we know that this is good, this is bad, this is best, this is ugly, this is worst, whatever, So we got into, because that is there, and also you might be seeing the people doing morning walk, people doing evening walk, post dinner walk, right? All of this exists today, and my son goes to school, so every day they have they can wear one, carry one in the bag, so that they have this and they change that, the sportswear. So we thought that if this is also something to be, because India is the youngest population in the world. We have average age of around 28 years. I don't remember the numbers, but we are around 28 or 29, something like that. So we are the youngest population in the world, and can you imagine youngest population and focusing on health, focusing on the fitness, where this sportswear industry can go, right? That is the reason why we got into sportswear. We are present today all across Odisha, except Bhubaneswar, which you will see in next month, because we wanted to come in the television first before launching in Bhubaneswar. So we are roping in an Indian cricketer for that. So you'll see it very soon. We are launching in Assam, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Hyderabad, Telangana, and Andhra Pradesh in next quarter. Then slowly, it's like an inside-out strategy. So we are going from here, from one small place called as Odisha to India. So that a journey of a year. You'll see us probably next year when we'll be talking here, or when we'll be interacting. You will see Cedra fill all across India. So that's how we do. So these are a few things which I work, that keeps me occupied from morning 6 to night 11. So this is what I work and do. And if we talk about this entrepreneurship, again I'm giving one example of it. How many people heard about Airbnb? क्या सुना है?
Airbnb are the hotels that are given in the countries like Dubai.
Everywhere in the world. How they started? It's about a purpose. Entrepreneurship is a journey with a purpose. So more of purpose is like my friend died out of cancer, so I wanted to work in the field which can save human life. That is the core philosophy of Cedra. We would get into all the business, or any business which we will be getting in future would have a linkage to the world called life, right? Other than that, we would not do anything. That is my purpose of business or startups. So, how the Airbnb started? Okay. That's also a story. Anybody? Any of you? Yeah.
I don't know exactly, but I looking forward that there are two friends who live together, but he will be struggling for their home rent. So he separate a room and make a bed to offer as a rent.
Yes. So, you are right. So in 2008, very nice. Give a big round of applause. So in 2008, two friends went for a design conference in, I think it was Los Angeles or somewhere. I don't remember the name of the city. They didn't get a hotel. What they did is they got those air mattresses. Okay, they borrowed those, they rented it out, and in the living room they put it and got the breakfast. That is a bed and breakfast. Okay, it was air, bed and breakfast. That is how this Airbnb started. Then slowly due to the branding strategy they made it B&B, Airbnb, right? And today, just a small idea, today it's $1 billion of value, right? It's valued more than, I think, multi-billion dollar valuation, right? And also you might have seen this Jiroda. Do you know the story of Jiroda? Why I'm giving you all of this because they just started from frustration. They started from something which there is a real problem, and they try to find a problem to the solution, and they become a unicorn. That's it. So tomorrow, probably next year, when we are interacting, you never know, out of this room there will be people who will be founder of unicorns. You never know that. So that is how I always say entrepreneurship is nothing but a purpose. It has to be a purpose driven. I'll give an example of the very food app, right? Zomato. Do you know how Zomato started? Any madams? You guys are sitting at how Zomato started? I thought you might be knowing all of this, right? So what these guys, they used to work, these two friends, Mr. Goel and his friend, they used to work in a Delhi-based company. They saw that the colleagues, they're struggling to find, the hotel menus, restaurant menus. So what they used to go out, scan those codes and take a photograph and put it in a website, a small website, right? And that is how then slowly, steadily that got popularized. Okay, and they made Zomato out of that, right? So the purpose of telling this, all these big companies you are seeing started from just an idea. And that idea got converted into unicorns, right? So this is, even Jiroda example, it's because he was a professional trader. He got so irritated, so Mr. Nitin Kamath, right? He got so damn irritated, he told, why should I am making 100 rupees from the trade, I am giving 90 rupees for the trade expenses, right? Why should I do that? And when I am making losses also I have to pay. Then he got so irritated, he and his brother started Jirodha means zero. They charge 20 rupees flat for any transaction what you need, right? Zero dha means irritation. Zero irritation. Basically they wanted zero resistance to the trade, right? So because all of this started with very small, because who knew that Nitin Kamath would actually make it a kind of 4 lakh, 5 lakh crore company in hardly a 15 years span. I think it was started 2010 or something like that, right? So that is the power of thinking. That is the power of passion. So if you have passion, then nothing, it's like the bus is going, you just remove the obstacles, bus will go faster. As a manager, what I used to do, when I used to head corporate business in Urban and Wellspun, my job is nothing. I don't work at all. People are there to manage business, my job is to manage people. And I'm somebody who believes people coming in shorts, okay, and work near the swimming pool with a beer in hand. I believe in that culture, not with a blazer, not with like tie pehen ke aana hai office. That put restriction to your mind. You know, I also had formed a team of 3 or 4 people. You know what is the job? I hired 4 people from 4 IIMs in the year 2018 in Westman. You know, so what is the job of those 4 people? You know that? The first condition, they will not come to office at all. They will come once in 3 months to office. And they will just come formally as a visitor. Nobody should know them. What they are, whom they are, what they do, are they employees. Only HR head used to know, and I used to know, and management used to know. Nobody else. You know what is their job? Their job is to identify how the companies can be closed. If I have to kill a company, how I can kill a company? How the group can be actually closed? You know what is the reason behind that?
So that you can analyze your risk factors.
Exactly. So that you can analyze where all my problems are, and I close those loopholes. I think that was the first time in India we did that, I think. And that idea came to my mind when I was sleeping in a flight, okay, and I saw the pilot coming out. It was an Emirates flight. I was taking this flight from Dubai to Manchester, okay. Then that pilot was shouting to that air hostess, you know, and during that shout, I got few words what he was telling that. Then I analyzed that what else can be done from this word, you know. That is how this idea struck to my mind. And we did that, I think, at least by now, wherever I spoken, 9 companies are following that in India. That model. So which was started by me in the year 2018. So there are a lot of things which can be done, you know. How you work, you can actually take an inspiration from a child of 1 year. So idea can come from anywhere. It's just about be committed to what you are thinking and be. Most of the startups fail for, you know, in the fear of failing, right? If I fail, what will happen? ठीक है ना, फेल हो गया तो नहीं आप चाकरी करते हो कौन? What me? मोल तो जीवन ना, फेल हो गया तो चाकरी करी, right? अब ना 3 वर्ष चाकरी करी, पुनी आउटरे पैशन को follow करे. डोरी भी कहीं, अरे कोरी भी जाओ देखा जाए. And that is how I sort of overcome my fear of losing. Normally कौन हुए कि because ओडिया काहे के दिमाग कुछ ला कारण है ला कि that connects to the heart. मुझे तो वाले कोई भी start करे ना, तो गोटे दिन सासे लोगों कौन करें, right? लोगों कौन करें? से का सेफ्टी, से के सेफ्टी कर दिला, सेफ्टी कर. अरे लोगों कौन करें? मोड़ लेना जैसे मोह खाने खाया कि नहीं, मोह पकड़े खाया कि नहीं सियासी दबो की. मुझे यदि किसी अचीव कर लिस्ट आगे से लेना देना चाहिए, से खुश, इनफैक्ट से खुशी ही परे sometimes दुखी भी परे मुंह पर परे से चेष्टा करे मन तौलू न हो. How does it matter? आगू बढ़िया जहाँ लगा. It's like I always say, I always give an example that it's a flight. यदि मौजूद किसी प्रॉब्लम है ना, you keep moving. When you are in the high skies of 32,000 feet or 40,000 feet, if you have a kind of turbulence, the only thing is that you have to move forward and with higher speed, so that you have less resistance, right? You cannot turn back and go, because when you are turning back, you will crash. So only option you have, move forward with higher speed, so that you have less resistance. So with this, I would like all of you 10 questions. Each one of the people You can ask one question, you can raise a point. I will rather share my experience or my stories, because I remember there are a lot of stories I have. Everything is a story for me. It's just because, you know, there are a lot of things I have learned on the way. Life is never a rosy path. Okay, life is always full of struggle, but somehow I've got a great team in Cedra. I've got a nice colleagues. So they're all there with me in the struggles. They're all with me in the achievements. So that is how whatever we have achieved till now, it's all because of Team Cedra. And I'm sure some of you may be part of Team Cedra next year. I look forward to have you on board. So we'll discuss separately on that. And let's take 10 questions, one at a time. One question, then we'll discuss, then again come back. Anybody who would like to volunteer for the first question? The first one is always difficult because everything first is always difficult, right? First job, first wife, and it's always, I'm extremely informal, you know. I was telling madam in my college days, I never studied. What I used to do is play cricket from morning to evening and do politics, college politics. I was cultural secretary in that time, so we used to organize all those big events. It's actually it's not by choice, it's by compulsion. I used to be a cricket player. How I became an engineer is a story, because when I played Karandikop, you know, that time that was the place, because the IPL started in 2008. After Mr. Lalit Modi came in and all of this Indian cricket changed. Before that we had only two options, play Ranji Trophy and then play Indian cricket team. And you know, that time out of 15 squad, 14 is sort of fixed. They don't get changed. And there will be a fight for one place, and the place would mostly go to the person who is politically connected. And I was not politically connected. I was having a unique talent. I used to open the batting and open the bowling, which was that point in time only 2 or 3 people had, like Neil Johnson out in Zimbabwe, Jack Scalise, you know. He doesn't open, but yes, Manoj Prabhakar in India. There are a lot of these things people. Neil Johnson actually started with Zimbabwe, then he changed his team, you know. So there are few people like Kapil Dev used to bat at number 7, number 8. So I had a very unique talent, but I didn't get selected in that. So I was so disheartened. Ultimately, kuch to karna hai na. Then when I lost that battle, then I thought that road is closed. Then kuch to karna hai, to engineer ban jao. So that is how I became an engineer. Basically, Marubar Mahapatra content. So I was like this. I'm never a kind of talented guy in my life. I always used to be a backbencher. So, but yes, I do well in. I was not a kind of topper list, but yes, when it comes to the entrance exam or competitive exam, I do extremely well. I was already a rank 10 in that. So I do well in that. And the second thing, most important thing is what I know about this thing is, to run anything, you need 5 things in life. Just this is last point before we take up questions. You start anything, you do anything, you need only 5 things in life. Number 1, physics. Number 2, chemistry. Number 3, mathematics. Number 4, finance or economics. Number 5, a language to communicate. It could be Odia, Hindi, English, Urdu, German, French, whatever. As long as what you are saying, I am understanding, what I am saying you are understanding, job is done. So like, why I am a strong believer of that. I am standing here is gravity, right? I am standing in a textile company is a gravity. I am standing in a steel company is a gravity. I am standing in pharma company is also gravity, right? So gravity, the factor never changes. It's your mindset that changes. So today, when you ask me, can you run a steel company? Yes, of course I can run a steel company. The basics remain the same. So that's how, if you have a little bit of fundamentals in the bank, move forward, chase your dreams. There are many people, many good people are there to back you up. And sometimes people say that there are a lot of negative people around. Yes, that's true, but there are few good people as well. They are there to support you, they are there to handhold you, to take you to the level where you want to achieve, right? So with this, I think we should take up big questions. Anybody want to volunteer? Yeah, ma'am.
Sir, as an entrepreneur, what is your biggest struggle and how you handle this situation? That's
Okay, thank you. That's a good question, relevant question. Struggle is every day, every hour, every minute. Today I'm standing here, my mobile has rang 5 times. And I don't know who might have called. It could be a business partner, it could be a customer, it could be some of my employees who might have problems, I do not know. So when you go to this journey, it's a journey which is not, thrown at me. It's something, it's my choice. I have made this choice, knowing that there will be times I will not sleep. Like the other few days back, one of our employees, she stays alone. Two of them stays alone. She had some medical issues. So at night 2 o'clock I had to, while there are HR and all of these, by the time they come, it takes time. So I had to go take her, no driver, at night 2 o'clock I take her, go to Kims, take care of this thing. So these are all a part and parcel of entrepreneur journey, because you need money. Where do you get those? You need resources. I'll tell you a very interesting thing, which is I have felt it. When we used to advertise for a post, one, we post it in the LinkedIn. 10 people will show interest. When you call for interview, there will be 2 people, and वो आएंगे देखेंगे कि अरे फैक्ट्री तो बढ़िया है, ये चलेगा ये नहीं चलेगा, कोई ठिकाना नहीं है, आज है कल नहीं रहेगा. So this is what they make statements. अरे यार बेटर है कि जो established जगह पे है हम लोग वहाँ पे रहे. So you have this problem. You know that you are giving a better opportunity, you are giving a good salary, still you are not able to attract people. So when I am telling this, you have problems everywhere, right? Tomorrow, I'll give an example. What is the challenge, right? Very, very touchy story which I tell to most. I think Sita might have heard this 100 times. And there is a company in Ultratech Cuttack, right? Ultratech Cuttack. So this is the story of 2022-23 financial year. My team used to go there 3-4 times. They went. They say, हम देखेंगे. घर के पास है, हम घर पाखर है, से कंपनी हमें सर्व करी करना यार, what is going wrong? Then I went. Then incidentally, the guy was standing in front of me. He's a plant head. He's the vice president of Ultratech. And Mukesh ji, who is that guy? He is the guy whom I had rejected in Welspun as a plant head. He came for an interview. There are 3 or 4 people. HR took the interview, all of this done, but final approval has to be me, right? So I had to select only one. So he is the guy whom I rejected. He made this statement. Mukesh ji, Cedra फिल आपका है क्या? He is a Punjabi. Then I told him, हाँ sir, ये हमारा ही है. Then क्या मुकेश जी, इसमें कैसे घुस गए? Well, he wanted to say that somebody who was holding such a big position in a big corporate of a 40,000 crore company, he was the head of the business, and यहाँ पे आ गया और ये कर रहा है. Then थोड़ा बहुत समझ तो हमें भी है. समझदार को तो इशारा काफी होता है. Then I took it that day I came back from Ultratech and I could not sleep. that is the time I realized, madam, there will be a lot of people. जो बोलते हैं ना, लोग तो कुछ भी कहेंगे, लोग तो बहुत कुछ कहते हैं. ठीक है, came back, worked out. Today, as we speak on this podium, we supply to 27 companies of Ultratech, and we have 2 years of annual rate contract with them. So that is how you need to. There will be a lot of negatives in your ways. You have to turn the tide in your favor. If I could have got discouraged, his statement meant that Mukesh ji आप पागल हो गए क्या? वहाँ से आप यहाँ पे आ गए. So that does he mean? On a layman language, that is something which we meant, right? So you have to change. लोग तो बहुत कुछ कहेंगे, but उसको कैसे हमारे सोच, उसको कैसे channelize करेंगे as an energy that matters. Okay, so you have challenges everywhere. You do not know where the challenges come. You have to manage government, you have to manage the administration, you have to manage customer, you have to manage your employees, you have to manage your finances, you have to manage everything. And it's very difficult for the first generation entrepreneur, because when I came from a background, and I came from a very humble background, right? So we didn't have those backups, right? My parents are not so well to do that I can afford a company of 100 crores. So I'm not somebody who has, who is born with a golden spoon or a platinum spoon. I come from a humble background and having zero financial strength, right? That is how challenges will be there. You have to make your own way. I hope I answered your question. Next, please. Yes.
Background where we don't have any village background, we have a dream to pursue in life. So we go on stage, so we realize that we market, we find many more obstacles, we find many more challenges. So in that certain period of time, you have to give some mentor, give some people who will do that, keep you to go on it. So it's actually hard for us to find that man, and after some time we get demotivated that if I have a dream, but I become into my family, I into my career. So in that certain stage of time, how we resist, like how we continue to go on, keep that inspiration alive.
Very good question. I think big round of applause for it. It's a common man. You got a kawat, don't underestimate the power of a common man. I'll come to that.
Because I already know you for a very long period of time. Because I come from the same area where you belong to.
Is it? Cool? Oh, okay. So he's from nearby, it's 1 kilometer from my place. Yeah. Oh, good to know that you're coming. Great. So, okay, I'll answer this question. So, mo pakha kali to kichh natla aji kon hore. The people who have nothing to lose are the most dangerous people on the earth. Mo pakha to kichh nahi na, there nothing to mo par aji mo ghare nahi kali roi mane. But mu eutu tolu jai pari, mu eutu upuru bhi jibi. Right? And there are, trust me, जो मन आमे गाँव रू आसुचंदी ना, हला, आमे तले भी सोई चंदी. माने the people who come from humble background, मु तले सोईची, हला, मु 5-star hotel रहीची, हला. सेति पाई ना मते किछ फरक पड़िबनी. जे 5-star hotel रहीची, जे already who has seen the all these luxuries of life, सेमान को तोड़ कैसे करते हुए, पर हम तो किसी नहीं हम तो लागू ही बड़ी बड़ी ना तोड़ तो जीवन नहीं ना डरी होगा. And there are answering to the second question, there are a lot of people who are there to guide you. Today there are a lot of good human beings, as I'm telling you, who will guide you. Okay, they will. And second thing is that there are a lot of money, disposable incomes which people are sitting with. They don't know what to do. They will rather invest in a mutual fund or get a 15% return annualized. Okay, they are happy with that. If you give them hope that I'll give you 20% return, they'll kusi lage paisa to business. You just need to have an idea and more important idea तो समझता पारो ची के भी कर दे मुझे और भी रास्ता है मत 10टा आइडिया देवे लोग ସେଥିରେ କିଛି ଅସୁବିଧା ନାହିଁ but you do you have the commitment ମାନେ ଲାଗି ରହିବାର ଅଛି ଯାହା ଦେଇଛ ଲାଗି ରହିବ ହେଲା ଯେତେବେଳେ ଝଡ଼ଟା ଆସିବ ନା ତମେ ଯଦି ଧରିକି ଠିଆ ହେଇଯାଇଥିବ ନା ଝଡ଼ଟା ତ ପଳେଇବ ନା ଇଭେନ୍ଚୁଆଲି ତମେ ସେଇଠି ରହିବ ତା ଆଗକୁ ବି ଯିବ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଝଡ଼ ଆସୁଛି ବୋଲି ଓହ୍ଲେଇକି ପଛକୁ ପଳେଇଲା ସରିଲା ଆଉ କେବେ ଫେରି ପାରିବନି କେମିତି ଫେରିବନି ଏକ ତ ତମେ ଯେମିତି ପଛକୁ ଯାଇଥିବ ଝଡ଼ର ଯୋଉ ସ୍ପିଡ୍ ଅଛି ସେ ବି ମୋମେଣ୍ଟମ୍ ଆଡ୍ କରିଦବ ତମକୁ so you can never come back so ଏମିତି ଗୋଟେ ସିଚୁଏସନ୍ ଆସିବ even I faced lot of difficulties even I am standing I have 5 things running in my mind nobody is stable ମୁଁ ଭାଷଣ ଦଉଛି ନା ତା ମାନେ ମୋର ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ନାହିଁ I have lot of problems I am dealing with everybody has a problem everybody deals with it how we deal with that makes difference between a boy and a man right I hope I answered your question thank you anybody else ମୁଁ କଣ ଏତେ ବୋରିଂ କଥା କହୁଛି ନା କଣ ମାନେ ଆମେ ନାଇଁ ଯଦି କାହାକୁ ବି ଭଲ ଲାଗୁନି ପ୍ଲିଜ I think he is the guy who raised his hand right here.
If my voice is audible.
Yeah, absolutely audible.
My question quite personal. When did you start your business at first, sir? From where you got the main capital?
Okay, good question.
Because
Yes.
every idea needs finance, right? So.
And yes, good question. And today we are a zero debt company. That also I am adding to it. We are a zero debt company. Yes, there are people who wanted today. If I tell them that we want to invest in this business, there are people who are ready to put in 5,000 crore business on my head. But they have only one condition: Mukesh, you have to run the business. Okay. In the beginning, we choose to invest. Mo paakhe jiti paisa thila na lagei dele. Jaha thila mu lagei dele. I had around 50 odd crores which I put in the business. Then we got one investor to on board, and that is how we started. Yes, but there are other, there are many investors. As I was telling you 2 minutes back, there are people who are sitting with plenty of money. They do not know what needs to be done with that money. So we can approach those people. Just one good idea, you show them, and more importantly, people are not seeing business these days. People are seeing who is running that business. Ideas, good ideas can actually fail, but a different idea, small idea, or not so conceptualized idea can actually take a flight. You never know. So that's how the people who are running their work ethics, their commitment to the work that matters. I am very happy to share. मत खुशी लगे. मुझे भी जब ये गाड़ी लोड होती है ना मुझे क्या है ना जब कि ना दिन जो टीम पे मुँह लोड कर दी गाड़ी. तो शेयर भी तो मनीषा मूवी तो मनीषा what's the difference in that? They are doing their work. I am doing my work. What I am supposed to do, I am doing that. They are doing what they are supposed to do. Which also that. Okay. So I hope I answered your question.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of people who are sitting to invest money in the business. You have to. You can always reach out. No problem. I think that matters. Next is. Afternoon, Neil. Sorry, ये बहाना लगा मोबाइल ले लिया. That was the reason why I asked. Because I remember I started at 11:45. Of course, it has to be 12 plus.
Sir, actually, I have 2 questions.
Yes, please.
My first question is, what are the challenges you face to start Cedra well and how you overcome them? And second question is, as you said, we need 5 things to start a business and run: physics, chemistry, mathematics, finance, and language. How physics and chemistry help us to start a business?
Can I come second first?
Yes, sir.
Physics is the backbone of everything. You are standing and talking, your voice is reaching me is the physics. It's not that physics is physics is just a science subject. economics, political science, all of this. So they are also physics. So in a way that we have a very different mindset in India today, that physics is only what the +2 science students read or +3 science students read or whatever, engineering students read, engineering physics, right? That is not the case. Physics, लोग कहते ना, दी जन का actor actress होचन, तां chemistry बहुत भला. केटी कोना से कोना chemical reaction करछन दी, right? कहते ना नहीं?
Yes, sir.
So physics, when I'm talking about, is not कि force equal to mass into acceleration. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about common sense. I'm talking about something which is governing your common sense. I know that if I'm standing here, okay, and there's a ball. If I just go and hit the ball, okay, kick the ball will go to certain distance. If I run and carry and build my momentum, put my body into it, put the mass of my body into it, it will create a higher force. Right? So this is physics. Physics is all about application of mind. Physics is not, force of buoyancy. Right? Physics is not that. Physics is your common sense.
Yes, sir, I got it.
Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, coming back to the challenges I faced, I was facing, I am facing, I will continue to face till I am alive. So, challenges could come from anywhere. So, it will limit your ability to think. That mati ye problem asyo, mati se problem asyo. Are bhai, agu badhiya jaho dekha jiba yaar. Gotiye life hai, let's make it meaningful. So, बहुत compromise କରିବାକୁ ପଡେ ଘର ଲୋକ ପାଇବେ ଯେମିତି I had two Shark Tank judges, right? They made statements like this. Oyo founder, Mr. Mittal, right? If you have to start a business, you come out of your house, rent a house and do it, because your family will ask for that own time, which they have rightfully, they have the rights to ask, right? So you cannot do it. So, but I have this belief that many times you will have problems and your family is the biggest support for your problem. When you are down, they are the ones who will make sure that you are not out. Once you are down and out, you are finished. You are down but you are not out. And that job is done by family. Right? I hope I answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
I think he was the one. 10 minutes. I hope you normally copy also.
Thank you sir for giving me this chance again. I have basically two questions. The first question is out of my curiosity that what is the work of this Cedra filtration? How does your product contribute to the environment of the society? And the second question, as you said, you have rejected that Punjabi guy or the plant head of Ultratech. What are the basic requirements that you want from a guy as a human, as a manager, or as an entrepreneur?
Okay, thank you. Your first question, coming to that, one more time, can you repeat the first question? I have actually.
The first question was, what does the product of
okay, now okay. So, coming to the products, we do, basic objective is one. Whatever you are inhaling, right, it should not have microdust. That's it. So, not the technology, I don't know technology. I'm just a layman like you. You might be better knowing things. I don't know. ମୋତେ ଖାଲି ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ଜଣା ଅଛି କି ଯୋଉ ପବନଟା ମୁଁ ଇଏ ନଉଛି ନିଶ୍ୱାସ ପ୍ରଶ୍ୱାସ ନଉଛି ନା ସେ ପବନରେ ଡଷ୍ଟ ନ ରହିବା ଦରକାର ବାସ୍ ରିମେନିଂ ଜବ୍ ଇଜ ଅଫ୍ ଟେକ୍ନିସିଆନ୍ସ ଦେ ହାଭ୍ ଟୁ ମ୍ୟାନେଜ ରାଇଟ୍ ସିମ୍ପଲ୍ ଥିଙ୍ଗ ଡଷ୍ଟ ନ ଆସିବା ଦରକାର ତମେ କେମିତି ରୋକୁଛ କ'ଣ କରୁଛ ମୋ କାମ ମାଇ ଜବ୍ ଇଜ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ to ensure that whatever dust air which is coming out has to be free from the dust. So in that we develop a lot of technologies. When you talk about those technologies, it has like setting बहुत सारा parameters such like sometimes a very high temperature, pH of the gas which is coming out, sometimes it's acidic, sometimes it's alkaline, sometimes it's neutral, and sometimes it has just emission level up to 1 micron or less. So also the plant also need, if you put a very strong system, then the production gets reduced, the pressure drop increases. So there are a lot of technical thing which comes in place. So our ultimate objective is that whatever we do, the dust should not be carried forward in the system. So we are very high, completely automated technology. You guys are invited to see the factory in Khordha, completely automated, and which our competition are doing with 200 people are managing 20 people. Okay, that's the level of automation we have gone in. Because the objective is somebody coming at 9 o'clock to office would perform very efficiently, very aggressively. When he or she goes back to home at 6, right? Around 5:30 you can see a lot of inefficiencies, and it will not be the same as 9 o'clock, right? Right? So that's how when you automate, you produce a 9, you produce a night 12 o'clock, you produce in the morning, doesn't really matter. It's the same thing which keeps going on. And without reducing efficiency, without compromising the quality. Right? I hope I made sense to your question. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, the main question was the second one, which is as you said that you rejected that.
Correct. See, it's all about perception. I may be, if madam may reject me as an academician, you are too आपको तो कुछ पता है ही नहीं, मैडम will reject me. क्योंकि आपको खाली बोलना आता है, आपको खाली लोगों मैनेज करना आता है, बट पढ़ाना नहीं आता है. So she may reject it, right? If I apply for a professor job, I may get rejected because here the need is different. But when I apply for a CEO of a company or MD of a company, I may get selected. So it's all about need. What is my need? When I was in the morning meeting today, I was telling this question. I do not know. I am going to a shop. He doesn't know कि मतलब भूख लाଗୁଛି शोष लाଗୁଛି. से मतलब पानी बोतल थोड़ी दो ना मुझे तो भूख लाଗୁଛି. कि मतलब शोष लाଗୁଛି से मतलब खाया दो. Right? It's all about identifying what you need. That's called as competency. So what competency you need, so that is how there is a clear matrix. They call it JD, job description in HR language, right? So you need to map out for this job, these are the competencies. At senior level, you don't need to know the job. You need to keep one thing there is considered is called an EQ. How stable you are when there is a problem, right? How you are managing a crisis. That is the only thing which is needed in that position. But when you go for a fresher level, you expect the fresher to work this. He should know the Excel systems. You should know the data entering. You should know. You should have the ability of analyzing it statistically. All of those. You should be able to sort of know how to operate a software and make the data meaningful information. So all of those, the manager doesn't need to know that. The boss of the company doesn't need to know that. So that's how it is very different for very different portfolios or very different responsibilities. I hope I answered your question. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. Shweta this side. I want to ask you, what's your favorite aspect of being an entrepreneur? And the second one is, how do you stay on the top of the industry trends? As you mentioned that you are a company of 500 CR. So how do you maintain to stay on the top of the industry trends?
Okay.
In that?
I have tell it as a bad thing or tell it as a good thing. I keep studying in the night. If I come back at 12, I make sure I read half an hour or 1 hour. Okay, in the beginning, my wife was thinking that I'm chatting with somebody in the night. Okay, so this is one of my habits. even if, and I don't need to study my subjects, what I'm operating. I read randomly. Whatever comes in my mind, I read randomly. Someday I read finance, someday I read about IT, someday I read about textile, someday I read about human psychology, sometimes about medical profession. So it's random whichever comes to my mind. So you need to stay active. You need to be updated what is happening, because the moment you do not upgrade yourself, there are people who will leave you. And we have very simple fundamentals of the business. We would get into a business where Mr. Ambani doesn't take interest. The market is not that large that Mr. Ambani takes interest. And we'll all, the same field, if you go give 100 CR to somebody, he should not able to do it. He cannot do it because that has to have a very strong entry barrier to that. So we are very clear that where we want to play. Right? So it's very important to know what is your strength, what is your weakness. Right? The moment you understand your strength and weakness, because today, in this age, I cannot go back to the boardroom and learn, work on my weakness. That's not possible at all. Rather, I'll hire somebody who would have my weakness as his strength. I have no time. I have come across the colleges, all of this in life. I cannot go back to the boardroom and learn all of those to work on my weakness. Those people who, I have a very divergent mindset. I believe disruptions. Mo weakness over काम करी mo strength तो लगे ना छुपी की. अरे mo better I work on my strength. And there are many people who are there who will come and complement my weakness. I'll hire them. That's it. That's what I think. Thank you so much. So, lastly, it's a wonderful interaction with, yes ma'am.
Sir, as a CEO and entrepreneur, आपको गोटे सिचुएशन दिया होगा कि माने गोटे अपन जदि एम्प्लॉय को चूज करबे माने अपन गोटे नुवा एम्प्लॉय को चूज करबे देन अपन को दीटा पीपल थिबे जणे थिबे एक्सपीरियंस विथ माने अधिक एज थिबो आ जणे न्यूली फ्रेशर थिबो कि टिके नुवा आईडिया थिबो देन अपन का को चूज करबे.
Yes, again this is situation based and more टिके अलगा mindset. I think I don't know how did you ask this question. But this is very relevant in our perspective. I would choose a younger, zero experience guy rather than taking somebody who comes with a baggage. There are people, they know that if I have to reach there, this is the only way. There are ways here, if there is a traffic jam, there are new guys, because they come fresh. Tanga mind is सब कुछ खोला आज. यही कुटी रास्ता है समझ में ना explore करिया से पटर पड़ा but the experienced one अरे मु 40 वर्ष वाला काम करछि 20 वर्ष वाला काम करछि मु जानि जे एई गोटे रास्ता त मते आसी पाठ पढौछ आजि का छुआ मते आसी पाठ पढौछ तुम एपटे जिवा पढ. I am against those thought process. I am absolutely clear. I want people who have an open mindset. You can train them. I always say in my team during hiring, I always see one point: fire in the belly. आ गोटे ओडिया रे कहती मु कहे सबले पेटरे भोक थियो जा पेटरे भोक थियो मु ताको निए आ से न जानतो किंतु से दौड़िबो से काम करिबो तार इच्छा आज कान ताको भोक अछि ता रोजगार कर से खाइबो हला जा पेट ऑलरेडी भरा अछि ना से जागा देखियो सोइबो हला तो दीटा जिंस नंबर 1 फायर इन द बेली नंबर 2 पेटरे भोक थियो and I was telling madam I don't run after CGPA. With all due respect to the toppers are the best, of course, academically. But you never know that the last guy could be the best when it comes to the industry. You never know. So whenever if there is a situation, Cedra will come to the placement or anything, we will make sure that the people who are back also are allowed. Okay. So there is. Satisfied with the see It's nothing called as rocket science. Strategy is pointed strategy. What is the need of the day? କାହାକୁ କେମିତି କହନ୍ତିନି ନା ବସିକି ଚାହା ପିଇ ଦେଲେ ଯେତିକି କାମ ହେଇଯିବ ନା ହେଲା ତମେ ପ୍ରେଜେଣ୍ଟେସନ କମ୍ପାନୀ ଦେଲେ କିଛି କାମ ଦବନି ବୁଝିଲ ତ ଅଣ୍ଡରଷ୍ଟୁଡ ମାଇ ପଏଣ୍ଟ ନା
Thank you so much, sir, for all these inspirational, insightful words. So, खुदी को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर बनाने से पहले खुदा तुमसे पूछे बोल तेरी रजा क्या. And I dedicate the complete for felicitation, and I request our honorable principal sir to offer our guest of keynote speaker, our guest a token of love on behalf of United School of Business Management. Ideas and efforts spiced with focus and determination brings definite success. And that the story that we listened today from Sir, his own story, and we got it. Definitely, sir, thank you so very much. Thanks a ton for coming here and inspiring our students, motivating our students, and the ideas that they have gathered today from the session, they must be dreaming of implementing those, and they must be dreaming of being like you. So, the best thing happened today that sir told about his journey, that how he was playing cricket and playing cricket has taken him to the IIT Delhi, and from there he has been a successful entrepreneur, how he has invested 10 crores of rupees at true sense philanthropist. An entrepreneur providing entrepreneurship to thousands of people and his love for his own state. Altogether, a complete package of humanly personality spiced with professionalism. So, it was great session with you, sir. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Principal, sir. Thanks to my colleagues, and thanks, dear students, for the patient listening. And I wish you all the best.